Here we are today, back at the old house. I have a new project. This is my 2001 Jeep Wrangler 4.0 liter Sport. This is one of two that I got in a deal. The other one is a YJ. But that has a little surprise in it that I'm going to keep a surprise until I'm actually ready to do what I want to do with it. Front end has been modified from a YJ, so now it's got the rectangular headlights when it should have the round headlights for TJs. We have a rugged ridge winch on it. There's a lot of modifications. You'll notice these axles are not original. They are from an F350. Fenders have been modified. Looks like it has Fox body shocks. The rear has a toolbox instead of a tire, so that's cool. This was actually built to be a crawler. And there's simple stuff like this where, you know, you have wires just twisted together, exposed, and then this whole thing is just magneted onto the toolbox there. I have the back seat. It's actually in that shed over there. It's nasty, so I'm going to potentially have another collaboration video with my friend, that detail guy. But if we do what most YouTube channels do and we were to check the trunk, this is what we'd be looking at, and from what I can see, I see a lot of coolant. So you can probably guess what we're going to be working on today. This Jeep has a huge coolant issue. We'll get in the engine bay and show you what it looks like in there. We're going to be looking at this today. This is our thermostat, and then down here behind the actual fan clutch is the water pump. So we'll be getting into that today as well. I'll get you guys set up and we're going to get to work. Let's get shifted. Right now we're going to get after the water neck, get that off, check out the thermostat behind it, and check if the thermostat's actually working. If it is, then it's likely a water pump issue. You can see there that this is a 195, so I'm going to go get a torch and see if this thing opens up. Alright, so you can see there, thermostat's working just fine. It's wide open once the temperature got up. So now it's a matter of checking out the water pump. I'm going to turn this camera off right now while I try to get this fan clutch off, because it is holding on the water pump pulley. So I'm going to get that off. I'll be back. I'm beginning to sense a theme in my videos. It's raining. Again. Rain feels good because it's not super hot, like it's actually cooling everything down, but audio is going to be garbage. And nothing that shouldn't be wet is getting wet right now because it's raining pretty good. Alright, water pump has been removed. Thermostat has been removed. I don't think this water pump has ever been taken off. I think this is the original. I mean, it looks like it's turning. I don't know. The slop you're seeing there is, I took out all the bolts I could find. So I took them out of the fan clutch, and actually the only way I was able to get this off was actually I had to take it off this pulley here and get back behind the actual water pump and undo the bolts. It's actually, you'll see, it's still on there as one unit. I'm going to stick it in the vise and use more leverage that way to get the fan clutch off and put it on the new one. Alright, so I really wasn't going to do anything with the hardware cleanup on this as far as videoing it, but I just wanted to point out, like, it's really important to clean up your hardware. Here's one of the bolts for the water pump. As it originally came out, you can see the threads are all gummed up. You don't want to put this right back in unless you absolutely have to. If you have a chance, a wire wheel will really clean this up. Look at those threads, you can see. You have clear contact for the threads all the way through. Now it's also to the point where I could do a hot glue, which is what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, it's really important to clean up your hardware. Alright, it's been a couple days. I have removed the water pump and transferred over the fan clutch to the new water pump. I'm going to come in with a razor blade, clean off all the old gasket. That's why I've shoved paper towels in here. Obviously, I'll take those out once I'm done. I have some brake cleaner, and I'm just going to come in. I'm not going to spray directly into the front of the engine. What I'll do is I will take the scraper, scrape all this stuff off, and then spray the actual brake cleaner on a paper towel, and we'll go from there. Fun story. Just found this in the crevice here. It was packed in a bunch of grease, and it is the bolt, one of the bolts for the timing cover. So that's cool. I'm cleaning it out with one of these picks, the hole, because it's full. I just packed full of grease. So I'm gonna go clean this bolt up and put it back in. My microphone died during the filming of this, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover. I apologize, I don't have a really nice microphone. Here's the new water pump. It's installed into the engine. We've got the bolts that are blued. The lower radiator hose gave me a bit of a time, but yeah. Here's the new water neck. We cleaned up the temperature sending unit, put some Teflon tape on it. We're not going to do a thermostat in that because it is so hot in Georgia. Here's the thermostat housing installed. We've got the temperature sending unit connected, our heater hoses connected, upper radiator hose connected. We are ready to go. Here's a little sneak preview of the next episode on this Jeep. There's an insane amount of wires coming out of that battery there, and I don't know if all of those have a negative or even a ground. Here we are connecting the battery because it is dead. I've got it running, but something's not right. It's just a little bit off. You'll see here in a second, I point at the harmonic balancer, which is connected to the crankshaft. So that's going off the same speed as the pistons, and that sets the speed for all the other auxiliary units, power steering, alternator. You see how quickly the crankshaft or the harmonic balancer is spinning compared to the power steering pump, That tells me that the belt tensioner is not working and needs to be replaced. The replacement part here, it's going to go in like so. Just going to take this bolt out right here, pull out the tensioner, and then put the new one on. Alright, microphone died again. I'm just taking out the bolt for the tensioner here. Just start right there. Whoop, there it goes. Alright, threading the new one in to the engine, tightening it down. There are two like points on the back of it that you need to locate into the engine block. Here's the belt on. Ooh, so much tension. I like it. Here you can see me starting it up. This was actually the third attempt. It didn't run very well the first two times. But here you can see I've definitely got the crankshaft speed or the harmonic balancer speed on that belt. It's going great. The alternator is turning as fast as it needs to be. This is proof of water pump. Water's moving through there just fine, which is great. Here I am pulling it into the driveway. It was a pretty crazy little drive getting it in there. And again, it started surging, it started going up and down, and you know, whatever. But we got it there. The Jeep fits in the driveway, just barely. Never overheated once. It did surge quite a bit, so I'm probably gonna have to look into, again, the mass airflow, probably do a fuel injector treatment, drain the oil, you know, all that stuff that you're supposed to do, check the spark plugs. I'll clean up the air filter as well. But had to get it into the driveway because the HOA, the Homeowners Association, was getting on me about it sitting in the street. So it's here, it's safe, it's not going anywhere, it's pretty crazy to drive. The brakes definitely need to be looked at because they feel like you're squishing a whoopee cushion. But yeah, you guys put in the comments what you think this should be named. I have no idea. It doesn't seem to, it hasn't fought me as much as I thought it would. So it's not like a bad name just yet. But yeah, what would you name it? Doesn't matter. I'll like it. I'll take any comments. If you like this video, hit me a like. And if you want to see more of this Jeep, stay tuned. And while you're waiting for more videos, go ahead and check out my other videos on the channel if you're new to the channel. My name's Addison, and welcome to Be Shifted.